Hello, dear traders. My name is Clara, and these are the main trading ideas for the current trading session. First, let's look at the situation of the Australian dollar against the US dollar. The US Producer Price Index released on Friday renewed concerns about persistently high inflation. At the same time, slowing economic growth is creating a complex environment for the Federal Reserve, as cutting interest rates could reignite inflation, while keeping them elevated may further pressure the economy. This dynamic is limiting the US dollar's upside momentum. Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of Australia maintains a relatively hawkish stance, with markets pricing in the possibility of another rate hike following strong inflation data. This provides support to the Australian dollar. However, elevated geopolitical tensions are weighing on overall risk sentiment, which may cap stronger gains in the risk-sensitive AUD. Overall, policy divergence slightly favors the Australian dollar, although external risks remain a limiting factor for further upside. Next, let's move on to the euro against the British pound. The euro against the British pound may continue to move higher as the single currency finds support from the cautious policy stance of the European Central Bank, amid elevated consumer inflation expectations and the risk of wage-driven price pressures. Market participants will closely monitor German retail sales data for January later in the day, as it may provide additional insight into the strength of domestic demand within the Eurozone. Recently, Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, stated that inflation across the Eurozone is expected to stabilize around the 2% target over the medium term, highlighting that the disinflation process has been effective so far. She further emphasized that economic activity should remain supported by solid growth in labor income, along with increased investment spending in defense, infrastructure, and digital transformation. Meanwhile, the British pound continues to face growing downside pressure as expectations rise for a potential interest rate cut by the Bank of England, following weaker than expected employment figures and signs of easing inflationary pressures in the United Kingdom. Sterling is also being weighed down by heightened political uncertainty after the Labour Party suffered a by-election defeat, which has raised concerns regarding the leadership of Prime Minister Keir Starmer ahead of key regional elections. Overall, the prevailing fundamental environment continues to favor further upside potential for the euro against the British pound. So, these are the main trading ideas for now. Thank you for your attention, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.